getting another class of 2024 commit in Kyan McDonald as well. Kyan McDonald, if you didn't know, he is a class of 2024 safety committed last night through his Instagram, and McDonald is a teammate of fellow Sun Devil signee running back Jason Brown Jr. We've seen Arizona State signees and commits work on social media and really in person to try and continue to bolster Arizona State's 2024 class. And again, you add Kyan McDonald, now the 5th high school 2024 defensive back in Arizona State's 2024 class. The Sun Devils getting younger at that position, and I like to see that they are continuing to add across the secondary. I think in years past, again, you look at the types of players that Arizona State has tried to go after, at least from a defensive back perspective, and you're talking about a lot of outside corners. Now you're seeing ASU in really this recruiting staff focus in on nickel corners, on specific perimeter guys, on safeties. And now Arizona State, I feel like, is really set when it comes to that DB room. Again, Kyan McDonald, I don't anticipate will play immediately at Arizona State, but to continue to have a guy that can kind of learn and grow and develop behind some really key starters for Arizona State.
And a point that you've mentioned this whole offseason is with programs and the big names, and I don't mean to jump there, but the Alabamas of the world, right? They are getting guys who are coming in, committing young, who know that they're not going to play. And he's probably not going to play this year, but he's projected to be a Power 5 starter.
Yeah.
He can play at a bunch of different positions. You can play him at nickel. You can keep him at safety. You can line him up at corner. You can do all of that. And if you kind of figure out how to use him and you get him in your system, okay, 2 years from now, this dude's going to be a stud, right? Yeah. And it kind of goes to the fact as well that he's going with somebody that he knows who's already committed here, is that the word of mouth is spreading. And it's not just going to be on the coaches to recruit players in college football now. It's players recruiting players as well. Yeah. And as everybody comes to Tempe, if you start winning, you start having some fun, more players are going to want to come. And this is maybe somebody that people will overlook right now. They'll say, okay, like that's a good get. That's a good get. But the potential on this guy to really build and to really grow, like it's there. Yeah, it's there for sure. Plus, he played a little receiver as well.
And
if you want to get a little tricky.
This is from 24/7 Sports. Earlier in the process, McDonald received or reported receiving scholarship offers from Arizona, BYU, Cal, Colorado, Michigan, Michigan State, Oregon, and Washington, but held off on committing to further evaluate his options, and several of the schools recruiting him filled up at the position. So committing to Arizona State early on in the process, had received offers from some pretty notable schools. Again, Michigan, Michigan State, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, even Colorado, right? And it says a lot that this kid, regardless of what offers he had at the very end of this road, chose Arizona State to continue down the path with Jason Brown Jr. and really continue to fortify a secondary that has a lot of interesting pieces, right? A group of, I would say, unproven potential is on this team, specifically when it comes to that DB room, whether you want to talk about the safeties, but specifically you talk about those defensive backs with a Javen Robinson at Washington State, right? Played, but not a whole lot. LaTerrence Welch at LSU. Cole Martin coming from Oregon to ASU, and now he's going to be, tasked with doing a whole hell of a lot for Arizona State and Brian Ward's defense.